Yes, students, good morning. Now, today we are going to discuss about the chapter that is system of particles and rotational motion. System of particles, that is your chapter number 7. System of particles. System of particles and rotational system of particles and rotational motion. Dear students, as in the previous videos we had discussed about the various laws of physics which are based on the translational motion of an object. Wherever we had discussed in the previous videos, we had discussed about the translational motion of an object. Now, in translational motion of an object, we always considered that the object is moving in a straight line or the object is moving on a curved path. This thing we had discussed. Now, in this topic, we are going to discuss about the rotational part of the body. So, as the name implies, that is system of particles and rotational motion. First of all, we will study about the system of particles. What do you mean by system of particles? System of particles. What is the meaning of system of particles? System of particles means, suppose this is a body, and we can suppose that this body is made up of various particles. So, since this body is the combination of various particles, suppose it has mass m1, it has mass m2, it has mass m3, it has mass m4, up to soon it has mass mn. So these are the different parts of the system of the body. This is a body, and these are the different parts. So this body is made up of due to the constitution of these particles. So here m1, m2, m3 up to soon mn are called as system of particles, these are called as system of particles, and we can say that this whole body is made up of various system of particles. Now, on the basis of the system of particles, on the basis of distribution of system of particles, we are going to classify the particles, or we are going to classify the body into two categories, that is the rigid body and flexible body. Classification. The classification is based on, first one is rigid body. Dear students, what is the rigid body? Rigid bodies are those bodies having the separation between the two particles or 2 points is always constant. Suppose there is a body, and if this is point P1 and if this is point P2, then throughout the motion, throughout the observation over this particle is, throughout the observation over this body, the distance P1, P2 is always constant. Means whatever the forces you are going to apply on this body, for the whole forces, under the effect of the whole forces, the separation between P1 and P2 remains the constant. And so it is called as rigid body. But if second one is non-rigid or flexible body, non-rigid or flexible, non-rigid or flexible body. What is non-rigid or flexible body? If we are going to apply the force over the body and the separation between these 2 points is going to vary. If P1 P2 not equal to constant, if P1 P2 not equal to constant under the application of force, if the force is applied under the application of the force, the separation between P1 and P2 is not constant, then such type of body is called as flexible body and non-rigid body. So this is about the rigid body and flexible body. Now translational motion, we will discuss about pure translational motion and rotational motion. Pure translational motion and rotational motion. Pure translational motion. Pure translational motion means, suppose this is the inclined plane, having inclination theta, and the body of mass m is moving in this direction. The body of mass m is moving in this direction. Or suppose there is a football here, and you had given the applied force F on the football, and the football is moving in this direction, So this part of the football is always moving in this direction. This part of the football, or any part of the football, any point over the football is moving in this direction. So this type of motion is called as pure translational motion. This is called as pure translational motion, because whatever the constituent or whatever the particles of the football, they are not rotating about any axis, they are not rotating. So this is called as pure translational motion. Now what is the rotational motion? Rotational motion or fixed axis of rotation. A rotational motion or fixed axis rotational motion or fixed axis of rotation. Suppose I am taking an example of top. So suppose this is the axis, and each and every particle, there are various particles, and these particles are rotating. About this direction. This particle is rotating about this direction. Or you always seen the case of die. This is dice, and you used to throw the dice in this way. You used to throw the dice. So each and every point of this dice is rotating, is about a fixed axis. This is the axis, and each and every point of the dice is rotating about its axis. So this is pure rotational motion. This is the case of pure rotational pure rotational. This is the case of pure rotational motion. Means pure rotational motion is that motion in which each and every particle of the body, each and every point of the body, or each and every particle of the body is rotating about a fixed axis. In these two cases, each and every particle of the body is rotating about a fixed axis. So it is called as rotational motion. Now there is a motion that is consisting of pure translational plus rotational motion. There is a motion that is called as rolling motion. Rolling motion, and this rolling motion is pure translational plus pure rotational, pure translational plus pure rotational motion. Pure translational plus pure rotational motion. And in case of rolling motion, I am taking the example of rolling motion. In case of rolling motion, suppose a body is here and the body is moving in this direction also, means each and every particle of the body is moving in this direction as well. It is moving with velocity v. Means its center of mass is moving with velocity v, and all the particles of the body is rotating in this direction. So this is rolling, this is rolling, this is rolling motion. Similarly, will of the vehicle, it is moving in this direction. It is moving in this direction and rotating in this direction also, So this is the case of rolling motion. So these are the different cases we had discussed. You had seen that, another example I am saying, you had seen that suppose you are throwing a cylinder, so this is the path of the cylinder. Means suppose you are throwing, then it is rotating like this and moving in a projectile path. So this is the case of the translational plus rotational motion. Now we will discuss about the center of mass. Center of mass. Center of mass. What is the meaning of center of mass? Center of mass of a body is that mass of the body over which we can suppose that the whole mass of the body is being concentrated. So the center of mass of a body or a system of body is the point which moves through all the masses were concentrated there, and all the external forces are applied there. Suppose this is a body, and the body is constituting different masses. So for our experimental performance or doing experiment, we can't consider that we are applying forces on all the masses, and for all the masses we can't apply our formula or calculation techniques because it becomes more tedious. So we suppose a point on the rigid body, where all the masses are supposed to be concentrated. All the masses are supposed to be concentrated, and whatever the force you are applying over this rigid body, that force is supposed to be applied on the center of mass. Means whatever the force is applied on the body is supposed to be applied on the center of mass. Applied to be means all the forces, all the motion, all the velocities are supposed to be acting on this center of mass. So center of mass can be defined as point which the entire mass of the body of the system is supposed to be concentrated. So center of mass is defined as the entire mass of the body is supposed to be concentrated. Entire mass of the body is supposed to be concentrated, and that point is called as the center of mass. Now we will calculate the center of mass for two particle system, and then we generalized it for n particle system. So center of mass for two particle system. Yes, students, now we will discuss about the center of mass for a two particle system. So we are going to draw the two particle system. Okay, students, now the two particle system is here. Look at here. This particle is M1 and this particle is M2, and these two particles combined together to make a two particle system. Suppose that this is the origin, and from the origin M1 particle is separated at a distance of x1, and M2 particle is separated at a distance of x2, and let us suppose this is the center of mass. So the separation of center of mass is xcm. The separation of center of mass is xcm, and we have to calculate the position of the center of mass. We have to find out the position of the center of mass, that is xcm. We have to find. So for this, what is the method to find the position of XCM? So first of all, the XCM, position of center of mass, can be given as m1 into x1, m1 into x1 plus m2 into x2 upon m1 plus m2. m1 into x1 plus m1 into x1 plus m2 into x2, m1 plus m2 XCM. Now if the center of mass is the product of mass m1 with the distance x1, mass m2 with distance x2, and the sum divided by the sum of both the masses. Now if we suppose if m1 is equal to m2 is equal to m, if m1 is equal to m2 is equal to m, then XCM can be given as m1 x1 plus m2 x2 plus m plus, that is m, both are same now. So m x1 m plus m, and it is m x1 plus x2 divided by twice of m. So XCM is what? XCM is equal to x1 plus x2 divided by 2, and it is called as mass weighted mean, mass weighted mean. This is known as, XCM is called as mass weighted mean, mass weighted mean. Now we generalize this for n system of particles. We generalized it for n system of particles. For two particle system, now center of mass for n particle system, n particle system. Clear? So suppose this is mass m1, m2, m3 up to so on, mn. This is origin. It is at a distance x1, x2, x3 and xn. Now we have to find out the location of the center of mass. We have to find the location of the center of mass. So XCM can be given as m1 x1 plus m2 x2 plus m3 x3 plus up to so on mn xn divided by m1 plus m2 plus m3 up to so on mn. And in generalized form, XCM can be written as summation I is equal to 1 to n mi xi upon summation I is equal to 1 to n mi. That is the position of center of mass. That is the position of center of mass for n particle system. Now another example, that is, we will considering that if the three masses m1, m2 and m3 are separated in two dimension, then how can we locate their center of mass? So look at here. If three particle system m1, m2 and m3 are located at positions x1, y1, x2, y2 and x3, y3. Then, so if these three particles are located in, suppose this is x and this is y. So this, suppose this is x1, y1, here mass m1, m2, x2, y2 and m3, x3, y3. Now this is the two-dimensional distribution of system of particles, and for this two-dimensional distribution of system of particles, we have to find the center of mass. And for this, in the previous examples, as you are seeing that the body is distributed along only x-axis, but here the body is distributed in two dimensions, that is x and y axis. So whatever the center of mass, whatever the particular mass we are going to calculate, that mass also has its two coordinates, that is xcm and ycm. So we want to calculate the value of xcm and ycm. So xcm is equal to what? Xcm is equal to m1 x1 plus m2 x2 plus m3 x3 divided by m1 plus m2 plus m3, and ycm is equal to m1 y1 plus m2 y2 plus m3 y3 divided by m1 plus m2 plus m3. Clear? So the center of mass for the two particle system, the position of center of mass of two particle system is xcm and ycm. Okay students, so these are the different cases for the calculation of the center of mass. And in these cases, if we consider that if the masses m1, m2 and m3 are equal, if m1 is equal to m2 is equal to m3, then in these cases xcm is what? Xcm is equal to x1 plus x2 plus x3 divided by 3, and ycm is equal to y1 plus y2 plus y3 divided by 3. Now if we are interested to calculate the distribution of the particle in three-dimensional coordinate. Distribution of particle in three-dimensional coordinate. Distribution of particles in three-dimensional coordinate. Now, if you suppose that mass m1 is located here, whose coordinate is x1, y1 and x1, y1, z1. m2 is concentrated here, whose coordinate is x2, y2, z2, and m3 is concentrated here, that is m3, y3 and z3. The diagram is not possible to draw here, so I am visualizing you and imagine the situation that the three masses are distributed in a space. Then in that case, how can we find out the center of mass? Then xcm is equal to xcm is equal to 1 upon m summation mi xi is equal to 1 to m. Ycm is equal to 1 upon m summation I is equal to 1 to n mi yi, and zcm is equal to 1 upon m summation I is equal to 1 to n mi zi, and where m is equal to what? Summation I is equal to 1 to n mi, that is m1 plus m2 plus m3. So this is the center of mass. So the location of center of mass, position of center of mass, position of center of mass in three-dimensional coordinates is xcm, ycm and zcm. xcm, ycm and zcm. So these are all about center of mass, students. Now in the next video we will discuss about certain numericals based on this center of mass, and after that we will discuss about the center of mass for a variable body. Masses are varying continuously. In that case, continuous bodies and relation between position vectors of the particle, position vector of particles and center of mass, motion of center of mass, all these things we will discuss in the next video. So that's all for today, students. Thank you. Have a nice day.